We've been a leader in banking for more than 100 years. You'll find us here, at home, on your phone, and everywhere you go. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Sponsored by Renaissance Bank.
Good morning and welcome to Daily Journal Newsbreak. It's Friday, October 27th, and I'm your host, Chris Kiefer. We're going to take a look at the top news and sports stories from Northeast Mississippi, but first, let's start with your weather forecast. We're looking at rain today with a high of 75 and a low of 39. That chance of rain is at 90%. Your 3-day outlook will look at cooler temperatures and sunny skies. Saturday has a high of 54 and a low of 33 and a 10% chance of rain. Sunday remains sunny with a high of 58 and a low of 36 and a 10% chance of rain. And Monday, still sunny, high of 67, low of 43, 0% chance of rain. Let's take a look now at today's top headlines. If Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant has his way, 2018 could be a busy year for Mississippi voters. The Republican governor voiced support earlier this week for placing 2 issues on the ballot in the upcoming year. One involves whether to pay additional taxes to raise revenue for transportation needs on the state and local level. The other is whether or not to change the Mississippi flag, which has the controversial Confederate battle emblem as part of its design. For more than a year, Bryant has advocated for a second statewide vote on whether the flag should be changed. In 2001, Mississippians voted overwhelmingly to keep the current flag. Meanwhile, Republican Senator Dean Kirby recently said he will file legislation in 2018 calling for a vote on whether to increase taxes to pay for transportation needs. While most state leaders concede the state needs more funds for road and bridge repairs, they have not been able to agree on how to generate those funds. At the Mississippi Economic Council's annual Hobnob Political Speaking this week, Bryant said he liked the plan of giving people a direct opportunity to vote on Kirby's proposal. He then reiterated his support for putting the proposed change to the state flag on the ballot. Mississippi's local school districts have been given a negative credit outlook by Moody's credit rating agency. The agency said its outlook is a result of last week's Mississippi Supreme Court ruling that the state does not have to fully fund local school districts. Moody's analyzes the finances of governmental entities to determine the rates they pay on long-term debt. It said the court's decision makes the recovery of past funding shortfalls doubtful and increases the likelihood that schools will continue to be underfunded. By the same token, the report also said removing the risk of either a one-time payout or increased annual appropriations is credit positive for the state. The report said school districts across the state are challenged by elevated costs and increasing pension liabilities. It said that could result in increased credit pressure for local school districts. Mississippi has fully funded the Adequate Education Program only twice since it was enacted in 2003. It has been underfunded by more than $2 billion since 2009. Over the next 2 weekends, high school marching bands from across Northeast Mississippi will compete to be named state champions. The Class 6A championship will take place Saturday at Germantown High School in Madison. Bands from Oxford High School and Tupelo High School are among the 12 bands competing for the title in that championship. On November 4th, 1A, 2A, and 5A bands will compete at Pearl High School. That includes the Smithville and Hamilton bands in 1A, Calhoun City and Baldwin in 2A, and the Saltillo High School band in 5A. Bands in the 3A and 4A classes will also compete on November 4th at Clinton High School. Bands from North Pontotoc, Manatachee, South Pontotoc, Alcorn Central, Kossuth, and Boonville will compete for the 3A championship. Bands from Ripley, New Albany, Pontotoc, Moorville, Amory, and Tishomingo County will compete in the 4A competition. More information about the events, including full schedules, can be found at www.msbandmasters.com. And in sports, the Tupelo High School football team travels to Horn Lake tonight with a chance to win the division title. But the path won't come easy. Coach Trent Hammond noted that Horn Lake may be the best team Tupelo has seen all year, and the Golden Wave will likely have to play through rainy conditions. Horn Lake averages 283 rushing yards per game. The Eagles are led by the quarterback-running back duo of Radarius Jones and Tyler Grimm. The two have combined for 1,735 rushing yards and 25 touchdowns on the season. Meanwhile, Tupelo is allowing just 10.4 points per game. The Golden Wave also have 63 tackles for loss this season. That defense is complemented by an offense that averages 39.1 points and 259 rushing yards per game. With a win over Horn Lake, Tupelo would capture the Division I 6A title for the second year in a row. Other games tonight include Starkville at Warren Central, Hernando at Oxford, and Okolona versus Thrasher. That does it for Newsbreak on this Friday. Don't forget that this show is just one of the many online offerings courtesy of the Daily Journal that gets you news off the page and on the go. Listen to the Memo podcast for a rundown of news and entertainment in Northeast Mississippi with hosts Emma Kent and Derek Russell. On today's episode, lifestyle editor Leslie Chris talks about this week's food section, Scott Morris reviews the latest Tyler Perry Medea Halloween movie, and Derek breaks down this weekend's entertainment scene. Listen in Apple Podcast or Google Play or at memo.djournal.com. Each story discussed on Newsbreak can be found in your Daily Journal or online at djournal.com, where you can also find a new episode of Newsbreak each weekday at 7 a.m. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Kiefer. Have a great Friday.